Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
All right, we're going to continue talking about Mandalorian today because it's exciting. It is getting closer and closer. We're like 14 days now.
Basically 2 weeks from tonight.
Yep.
Or tomorrow morning for some, or afternoon, or whenever you watch it. I know it'll be tonight for us.
Yeah, it'll be a staying
It'll
up.
be, yeah, absolutely.
Too exciting. Too exciting.
Yeah.
We've got some more information coming from the Empire issue that'll be coming out later this week. Jon Favreau on The Mandalorian in Grogu's reunion in the Book of Boba Fett. Reuniting Din and Grogu in the Book of Boba Fett was met with cheers from fans, but
Was it?
some people were upset with how quickly the characters came back together. Well, it was exciting at the moment to see them, but it's like retrospect you think on and you're like, eh.
That was fast.
Not to mention coming back together in the wrong show.
I thought that was The Mandalorian 2.5.
There's some viewers who enjoy The Mandalorian didn't tune in to the Book of Boba Fett, so there's likely to be a little bit of confusion about how come they're together in the trailers and what happened. I mean, I'm sure at this point most people have been straightened out because I did see comments in the original trailers like,
Why are they together?
yeah.
That's a big deal. You think they would have saved that for the show, but
It would have been nice. Just throw a couple extra episodes and be like, yeah, here's the interlude. I don't know. Fans on both sides of the spectrum on this issue have had to square the hard-fought journey of season 1 and 2 to deliver Grogu to a Jedi. We get this emotional goodbye with Luke and the cameo, and then boom, we get to Boba Fett and go back to Mos Espa, and look, there's Grogu.
He's back.
He's back. Well, in an interview with Empire, Favreau addressed bringing them back together and what it means for Season 3. He says, "We couldn't just hit a hard reset. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds for people who may not have seen the Book of Boba Fett, but I think the Book of Boba Fett offered time to pass. You saw what Mando was like without Baby Yoda, and we saw what Grogu was like without the Mandalorian, and neither of them was doing too good. So them coming back together was a really good plot point that allows us to jump back into Season 3 while maintaining the central relationship."
Did we really see it?
We got a very small amount of time where Grogu was like, I guess I'm training, and he's kind of distracted. But, he doesn't talk, so it's hard for us to really see how much he's missing Mando.
Yeah.
Whereas you could really tell that Mando missed him. It was like, I made him a little suit, and...
they obviously missed each other. I don't know that you even needed to see that to understand that. But I don't know that we really saw, what they are and who they are without each other.
Right, Mando just kind of regressed back into being Mando.
I think there was some excitement, the idea behind seeing, Jedi training with Grogu and Luke. Seemed like that could be all kinds of cool.
And then they ditched that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But speaking about balancing Grogu's time with Luke against the goal to reunite them, Favreau said, "I think you had to service both things. Just because this kid has potential and had training, does he belong away from the Mandalorian? I saw it more like Paper Moon, where the whole thing is about delivering the kid to the blood relative, only to realize that, whether genetically through her father or just through bonding, Tatum O'Neal has to end up with Ryan O'Neal. That ending feels really good to me, and this little kid, Grogu, is given a decision to choose, and the kid chooses the emotional relationship and wants to be with the Mandalorian and passing up on Yoda's lightsaber. Part of you wants to see him develop in that way, and part the other."
No, I just wanted to see him become a Jedi. Be honest with you.
I know you did. I know. But at the same time, I did still want him to be with Mando.
I'm kind of done with that. I don't know. I thought it's cool. I love the first 2 seasons with Mando and Grogu, but it's kind of like, what do you keep doing with this?
Right.
Grogu doesn't talk. He's just kind of there and the plot device most of the time. And it's like Mando has been so wrapped up in protecting him or finding his place. I thought it would be cool to just let Mando have a season of this character.
Yes.
And look, you can completely disagree. I know there are people who love Baby Yoda and are thrilled that he's back. I'm not upset about it. I just thought it would have been nice to, who can he be without that? And
I think
can we just get a season without it always kind of revolving around Grogu?
Well, I think what's sad is that who he is without that, maybe...
He's nobody?
No, it's not that he's nobody. It's just he's got such a monotonous routine. I mean, his routine was, I go, I get bounties, I go back to the guild, I get more bounties, I go, I get bounties.
No, I get that.
I think
get
Grogu
you needed
breathes
him
life into him.
Yeah, I get you needed him in season 1 and season 2, but now he's found himself with the Darksaber. He's kind of wrapped up with bo-katan. He's got all these things going on. I don't know that we needed to bring him back. It would have been interesting to see how he handles, what else has happened to him now. And because of Grogu, how he has changed into somebody who maybe cares a little bit more about things than he used to.
Well, Favreau kind of seems to understand the desire to have both of them remain together and yet see Grogu working with the Force and expanding his abilities. He says, "You have this interesting character who has Jedi training to some extent, Force abilities, but also is joining the Mandalorian culture, which you've established is something that you can opt into. It demands a lot. It offers a lot. Historically, Mandalorians developed all of these tools and armor and weapons to be able to counteract the Force abilities of Jedi. So as a storyteller, this offers a tremendous opportunity."
I want him to have to put the helmet on.
I think he will once they deem him old enough. I think they'll make him a little helmet.
Yeah, but then there's this problem of you're covering up the cuteness.
But is it even cuter when it's got a little helmet on?
Yeah, but the helmet cannot emote. That's part of the coolness or cuteness of Grogu.
Maybe they'll decide that his little suit is enough.
Well, we can break the rules for him.
Maybe the convert will changing the rules. Who knows?
I think it will change. I think we're going to see kind of a merger
Call him
with
the
bo-katan.
Covert. Sorry, everyone.
Yes. But I mean, I think we will see the rules change.
I think there's
that's
going
the
to be
ultimate...
some shakeups coming.
Yeah. Because if Grogu is going to be a Mandalorian, obviously you don't want him having the helmet on. So there you go.
I'm curious how Mando will continue to foster Grogu's abilities. Will they meet more Jedi along the way? I guess that depends how many they want to say survived this long. But yeah, maybe Ahsoka will be back.
Maybe. I mean, I think we're going to see like Boba Fett. I think we're going to see a lot of characters like that again.
With bo-katan.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I would absolutely love to see those two together because they have history.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to our next tidbit today because we're keeping it all Grogu.
Keeping it Grogu.
Just
like the Mandalorian is.
Mandalorian Season 3, we'll see Grogu become more central to the story, teases Rick Kawajima.
Okay. It's called the Mandalorian, right? Oh, wait, he is a Mandalorian.
He is a Mandalorian. Maybe he was the Mandalorian all along.
Maybe
the show is actually named for Grogu becoming the Mandalorian. Probably not. But another tidbit from Empire. New piece of concept art features Grogu chasing down a bunch of little crab-like rock creatures. Probably try to eat them.
Crab people.
Eats everything he can catch.
Yes, he does.
Yes. But Rick Kawajima, who directed the first 2 seasons, he did a couple episodes for each. On top of directing a couple episodes for this new season, he was also promoted to executive producer on the series. And he revealed that we can expect some new things from Grogu this season. He said, "There will be things in Season 3 that once again have people talking about Grogu in incremental ways.
What a shock.
He's growing as a character in this partnership with Mando."
Is he growing as a character? Is he?
Yes. As this relationship grows, Grogu has to become more central in things that are going on. He's now firmly at the hip of Mando in every adventure. The purity the character brings out is the... Because it's you shaking your head. The purity of the character brings out the best in the people around him. This next season will continue to attach to that idea.
Here's my question.
Uh-oh.
Let's go back in time when they were spitballing ideas for the Mandalorian and they came up with the idea of Baby Yoda. What do you think then their idea was for him? How long do you think they had him sticking around for? How big a part of the story was he going to be in the grand scheme of things? I'm not saying you can't change your plans based on what works and what doesn't, but I can't help but feel like the popularity of Grogu is really dictating the story at this point.
It's the same thing that happened with The Walking Dead. Daryl wasn't in the comic books at all. They put him in there probably to eventually kill him off. And then they're like, oh, people really like him, so he stayed. Grogu has his own way of relating to the audience and even relating to Mando. I'm sure at this point Mando understands him a lot more than you think.
Let me make it clear. I do not dislike Grogu. I am not mad that he's back. I'm simply asking...
negotiations over Grogu.
Kinda. I mean, I just feel like, do we need him? Is he that central to the story?
I think he has an effect on people. He like they said, he brings out the best in people.
My problem is he has an effect on people, and we're just kind of compromising the story for him.
we'll see if
he's
they're
going to be so
compromising.
central to the story as he sits in his pod and looks cute.
They could just be saying this for an interview because they know that Grogu brings people to the show.
Exactly.
It may not be that he's as central as you think. You know, it's not like every episode's going to be the Grogu episodes.
I'm fine with him being... If he had gone with Luke, I'm fine with him being kind of central. Mm-hmm. I just think it's a very strange... It's a cool dynamic, and it worked for 2 seasons. I just don't know that you can keep going to the well. And it just keeps working.
We'll have to wait and see, honestly.
Sure.
As long as the central character remains the big conflict in Mando, I have no problem with Grogu being his, right-hand man.
But he's... Like I said, my problem is he doesn't do anything. He'll do something cute, or he'll force choke, or he'll lift up a mudhorn, which is all good.
He does do good things. I'm putting out another Mando review thing today, where Grogu had an important role, and it wasn't just being...
He did something.
Yes, he did something.
Yeah.
Important. Tamara Carson Woodard, she's the one who created the character's cloak and helped bring the design to life from the first few pieces of concept art, and she said the following about the process of creating the puppet from simple drawings. I built a little body based off what I would want to hold. A little stuffed animal version without a face. I called it Yermit because it wasn't Yoda and it wasn't Kermit.
I like that name. That's what they should have gone with.
No, they shouldn't have. No, they absolutely should not have gone with Yermit. Though that name is catchy. Hey, here's something that I'll talk about today that's not Grogu related. Okay. Pedro Pascal, within this magazine, he also kind of explained what it's like wearing the suit. It's like putting on a head-to-toe glove with weights on it. It's ironic that you can't see any facial expression because it puts you in the world so completely and instantly makes the character feel real, but you can't see shite. They've continued to finesse and make it more comfortable, but it's like going blind. Your breath completely fogs up the narrow slit that you can see through. There's no peripheral vision. And if there's a hole, I'm going to fall into it. When it's on, you immediately feel powerful, protected, dangerous, and like a protector.
It's kind of amazing how all these cool costumes that characters wear are just completely impractical.
Well, yeah. And this
season...
season...
they don't actually function in the real world.
This season
you would never wear it if you wanted to do the things they do in the shows.
There's going to be even more of them running around this season where none of them can see.
They're just going to run into each other.
Falling into holes, tripping over their own feet. It's great.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think that a character in a suit like that can't see. Like, that was a problem Michael Keaton had in the first Batman movie. There was no way for him to turn his neck. Like, the way the cowl was put together, he couldn't turn his head.
I wonder if he can turn his head in the new Batman. I mean, the Flash movie.
You can call it Batman. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, I think they're totally selling it as a Batman movie. Because Ezra Miller is Ezra Miller.
Yeah, we don't talk about him.
No. Apparently nobody does. We just
forget
that.
Guy.
The Flash movie looks cool, so we just forget about the Ezra Miller thing, right?
Well, because James Gunn's tried to make it like mandatory viewing because like this movie's going to be what resets the universe. I'm like, dang it! Now we have to go see it. And they're like, oh, by the way, there's more Batmans. And you're like, dang it!
Lots of Batmans.
Oh, you know that one you loved the most from your childhood? Your Batman growing up? The one that you thought the entire animated series was based around? Yep, we're putting him in there. Keaton's back.
Anyway.
They said Pedro was not on set a lot for season 3 because he was filming The Last of Us as well. You know, the other show where he runs around as a badass protecting a child. Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost like that's a formula that works. Yeah, but he must have been on set maybe a little bit, or he's just talking about his past experiences because his 2 stunt people responsible for wearing the suit most of the time for this season are Lateef Crowder and Brendan Wayne. He's probably just doing the voice. He's probably not on set at all. He's at home. And only when the helmet comes off, every episode or other episode or so. For 2 seconds. And then they just CGI his face on there. We're never the wiser. No, I'm just kidding. Are you though? Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, don't get me wrong here. I'm super, super excited for Mandalorian Season 3. And if they're gonna do actually something with Grogu besides, like, let's find his place. If he's gonna have a story and gonna progress and become a character, that's great. I'm just not interested in another season of like, look, it's Grogu being cute. But that's so cute. Yeah, I know. People love it. And I don't begrudge anybody who enjoys that or anything like that. I'm just simply said personal opinion. Completely disagree with me if you want, but I'm interested to see The Mandalorian. And I don't know that Grogu makes the best Mandalorian ever. But anyway,
That's all we got for you this time. So do take to the comments below. Tell us what you think of any and all of today's news. Tell us what you think about Grogu. Are you excited he's back, or are you a little tired of him? Whatever the case may be, leave your comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars, and until next time, thanks for watching.